I'm Christine, and I'm one of the librarians at the New Berlin Public Library, and I just want to thank you for all of your wonderful donations for our soup drive this summer. We collected over 3 barrels of food, and here's some examples of some of the wonderful soups and stuff that were donated. So, I'm going to read, as a thankful, a stone soup story by John Muth. So I hope you enjoy it. So we have stone soup. 3 monks, Hawk, Lock, and Sue, traveled along a mountain road. They talked about cat whiskers, the color of the sun, and giving. What makes one happy, Sue? Asked Hawk, the youngest monk. Old Sue, who was the wisest, said, let's find out. The sound of a bell brought their gaze to the rooftops of the village below. They could not see from so high above. The village had been through many hard times. Famine, floods, and war had made the villagers weary and untrusting of strangers. They had even become suspicious of their own neighbors. The villagers worked hard, but only for themselves. There was a farmer, a tea merchant, a scholar, a seamstress, a carpenter, a doctor, and many others. But they had little to do with one another. They just helped themselves, they didn't help others. When the monks reached the foot of the mountain, the villagers disappeared into their houses. No one came to the gates to greet them. And when the people saw them enter the village, they closed up their windows tight so they wouldn't know anyone was home. The monks knocked on the door of the first house. There was no answer, and then the house went dark. They knocked on a second door, and the same thing happened. It happened again and again, from one house to the next. These people do not know happiness, they all agreed. But today, said Sue, his face as bright as the moon, we will show them how to make stone soup. They gathered twigs and branches and made a fire. They placed a small tin pot on top and filled it with water from the village well. A brave little girl had been watching came to them. What are you doing? She asked. We're gathering twigs, said Lock. We're making a fire, said Hawk. We're making stone soup, and we need 3 round, smooth stones, said Sue. The little girl helped the monks look around the courtyard until they found the right ones. 1, 2, 3. Then they put them in the water to cook. These stones will make excellent soup, said Sue, but this very small pot won't make much, I'm afraid. My mother has a bigger pot, said the little girl. The little girl ran home. As she started to take a pot, the big pot she found, her mother asked what she was doing. 3 strangers are making soup from stones, she said. They need our biggest pot. Said the girl's mother. Stones are easy to come by. I'd like to learn how to do that. The monks poked the coals. As smoke drifted up, the neighbors peered out of their windows. The fire in the large pot in the middle of the village was a true curiosity. They all wanted to know what was going on. One by one, the people of the village came out to see just what this strange stone soup was. Of course, old-style stone soup should be well seasoned with salt and pepper, said Hawk. That's true, said Lock, as he stirred the giant pot filled with water and stones. But we have none. I have some salt and pepper, said the scholar, his eyes big with curiosity. He disappeared and came back with salt and pepper and even a few other spices. Sue took a taste. Last time we had stone soup of this size and color, carrots made the broth very sweet. Carrots, said a woman in the back. I may have a few carrots, but just a few. And off she ran. She returned with as many carrots as she could carry, and she dropped them into the pot. Do you think it would be better with onions? Asked Hawk. Oh yes, maybe an onion would taste good, said a farmer, and he hurried off. He returned in a moment with 5 onions, and he dropped them into the bubbling soup. Now that's a fine soup, he said. The villagers all nodded their heads, and the smell was very agreeable. It smelled really good. But only if we had some mushrooms, said Sue, rubbing his chin. Several villagers had licked their lips. A few dashed away to return with fresh mushrooms, noodles, pea pods, and cabbages. Something magical began to happen among the villagers. As each person opened their heart to give, the next person gave even more. And as this happened, the stew grew richer and smelled more delicious. I imagine the emperor would suggest we add dumplings, said one villager, and bean curds, said another. What about cloud ear and mung beans and yams, cried some others, and taro root and winter melon and baby corn, cried other villagers, garlic, ginger root, soy sauce, lily buds. I have some, people cried out, and off they ran, returning with all they could carry. The monks stirred, and the pot bubbled. How good it smelled, how good it would taste, how giving the villagers had become. Look, all of a sudden now they all added a little something to the soup. At last, the soup was ready. The villagers gathered together. They brought rice and steamed buns. They brought lychee nuts and sweet cakes. They brought tea to drink and they lit lanterns. Every time everyone sat down to eat, they'd not been together for a feast like this for a long time, longer than anyone could remember. After the banquet, they told stories, sang songs, and celebrated long into the night. Then they unlocked their doors and took the monks into their homes and gave them a very comfortable place to sleep. In the gentle spring morning, everyone gathered together near the willows to say farewell. Thank you for having us as guests, said the monks. There they are. You've been most generous. Thank you, said the villagers. The gifts you've given, we'll always have plenty. You've shown us that sharing makes us all richer. And the thanks to the monks. To be happy is as simple as making stone soup. In the story. Thank you once again for all your wonderful and generous donations this summer. Bye.